friends. Thanks for joining me. Welcome to day one of a 7-day series for yoga for beginners. So you'll notice I don't have a yoga mat with me. I don't have any props, nothing fancy. I am wearing yoga pants, but you don't have to. All the things that we're doing today, you can do in your stretchy jeans. So this is just an introduction to kind of what yoga is and how we move in our bodies, and a little bit about why we do it, and the benefits of mind-body integration. So to start off with, yoga means to yoke. So the idea behind the practice isn't this like really fit, strong body that looks really fancy on the beach or whatever. It's really more about empowering you to connect your body and your physical experience to your mind, and through that to grow your own inner peace and balance within. So the reason that we are linking our movement and our breathing is to sync up what's going on in our bodies with what's going on in our minds, and to promote our overall well-being. So to that end, feel comfortable in whatever it is that you're doing with your yoga postures as you learn. It's going to look different in every single person's body, and that's okay. The intention behind the movement and the mindfulness aspect, so you putting your mind and focus and intention on a particular feeling or sensation or experience, or just noticing what's going on in your body, is far, far more important than what it looks like. So if whatever poses you're practicing don't look like I look, that's perfectly fine. They shouldn't, because you're not me and I'm not you. So allow there to be that difference there, and just give yourself permission to show up as you are and explore your body however it is today. So it's going to change day to day. Mine does. Some days I don't touch my toes, some days I do. It's just part of the human experience. So with that said, go ahead and join me in whatever is a comfortable seat for you. So you may sit crisscross applesauce just fine. If you've got a little tightness in the hips, that may not be comfortable, so you can sit with your legs straight out. If that's nice, you can sit. Just find a way that your legs are comfortable. If you've got some tightness in the hip, it may help to grab a pillow or some kind of cushion and just set it underneath your hips and prop them up. It'll create a little bit more space for you. Be mindful of the knees here. So if sitting like this or crisscross applesauce puts any pressure or pain on the knees, then grab a chair and begin that way. There's no cheating in yoga. There's no wrong way to do it, as long as we're being safe. So when you're beginning, allow yourself to begin with whatever's available to you. So this first posture that we're going to be in, whether you're seated in a chair or on a cushion or crisscross, this is easy pose, or the pose of ease. So this may not feel easy for you if you're not sitting crisscross applesauce, and that's okay. So the intention here is to find a place of ease in your body where you can just sink in and relax and bring yourself into the present moment to begin your practice. So whatever that pose of ease is for you, it may be on your couch, that's perfectly fine. So the purpose here, the intention, is to find somewhere where you and your body feel at ease. So find that space, and whenever you find that, close down the eyes, and we'll just take a moment here, breathing, to drop in and be present for our practice. We are such wonderful, wonderful multitaskers a lot of the time, and it can be difficult to settle down and calm and allow yourself to just do one thing at a time. But today and here for your practice, that is exactly what we are asking. Can we give ourselves permission to leave everything else, our to-do list, whatever happened before this practice, anything that might happen after? Can we give ourselves permission to let that go and to just be here now and experience what our body sensations are? Notice what it's like just in this moment. This is all we have and all that exists. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Allow your belly to expand. Noticing the different sensations. Where do you feel the breath in your body as you breathe in? Exhaling out. Holding that exhale suspended for a moment. Noticing what it's like to be in your body without the breath. Nice deep inhale. How good does it feel to inhale after holding your breath a little bit? Breath is vital, it gives us life. Exhale. Now bring your attention to your hips in whatever position they're in. Are you holding any tension in your hips? Gripping? If you are, ask if you're able to release it. You may not be, that's okay. Some of the tension we can release easily and some we can't. But be curious. Notice if one hip is perhaps holding a little more tension than the other. We don't have to wonder why. We're just noticing what is. Allow yourself to just be with what is right now, not the whys, not the shoulds. Give yourself just a few moments of silence to feel your connection to the chair or mat or cushion beneath you. Allow yourself to feel supported by the contact your body is making with the surface beneath it. Thank yourself for showing up. The hardest part of anything is just showing up. So now you've gotten past the hardest part of your yoga practice. You started, you began, you got here, you turned on the video. Feel good about that. Celebrate those little wins. And when you feel satisfied, open the eyes back up. We're going to move now into cat-cow. So coming into our hands and our knees. So palms placing on your mat or your carpet or your cushion like me. Aligning the hands underneath the shoulders, fingers spread out nice and wide to give us a firm base. Knees coming underneath the hip points. Toes can be pointed out with the tops of the feet against the floor, or they can be tucked underneath. So find what feels good in your body. Explore what allows you to have a more balanced and grounded feeling. It might be different today than it is tomorrow. It's definitely going to be different for you than it is for me. So find what feels good. Find a good place of balance. And just take a couple breaths to arrive here. No rush. Now send energy down into the fingers, into the first and the second knuckles, and press your fingers down into the floor, the mat, whatever surface you're working on. Keeping that energy in the hands with the fingers pressing is going to allow the weight to lift up out of the wrists. And that is the key to avoiding or curing wrist pain. Strong hands, strong forearms. So if you're feeling any discomfort in the wrists, press into the fingers and that should help alleviate it. If it doesn't help alleviate it, you're welcome to come up onto your fists like this. So find a place that's comfortable, that allows you to settle into the position. Challenge yourself without pain. Now on our inhales, we're going to drop the belly, lift the eyes up towards the ceiling, letting that belly fill up nice and full. This is cow, so big belly like a cow. And then as we exhale, tucking the tailbone, rolling through the spine, arching the back, pulling the belly button towards the spine and emptying out all that air. Hands pressed down into the ground, allowing the head to drop. Inhale, take it back to cow. Tailbone points up towards the ceiling, head up towards the ceiling, noticing if you're scrunching the shoulders up by the ears, seeing if you can relax them down away. Exhale, tailbone tucks, rolling through the spine. Emptying out the belly. And just take a few of those back and forth with your own breath. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale to pull the middle of the spine up towards the ceiling. After a few of these, you might feel your wrists getting sensitive, so remember to press in to your hands, alleviate some of that wrist strain. You can switch in the middle to your fist if you decide that's more comfortable. Yogi's choice. This is a choose your own destiny adventure. You get to decide what works for you. Trust yourself. One more, inhale. Exhale, plant the palms. Hips are going to slide back into child's pose. So here you can keep the knees where they were aligned, or if you'd like a little bit more space, you can spread the knees out wide. Leaning forward, stretching the arms towards the top of your mat or whatever work surface you're on. Feeling a nice deep stretch in the shoulders, allowing the belly to relax, and then finally allowing the head to come down and rest. Your hips might not be anywhere close to your feet here, and that's perfectly fine if they're not. It may look a little bit more like this for you. That's okay. If it feels more comfortable or feels nice for your body, you can grab a cushion and set it down between your hips and your feet. Give yourself a little rest. You can cross your arms here. Give your head something to rest on the forearms or the hands. So explore here. This is a resting posture, opening the chest, relaxing the head and neck. So find a way that feels good in your body. It doesn't matter particularly what it looks like. We want to open the hips, melt the chest down towards the ground, and just give ourselves a little break. One more deep breath in here, let the belly expand. And sigh it out. Wonderful. Next, moving into downward facing dog. Hands are going to plant in front of you. And you're going to send the hips up in the air and back towards the back of the mat. Tucking the toes. Hips go up and back. So the intention here is that the heels are reaching down towards the ground. They may never meet the ground, and that is perfectly fine. Hands spread out wide. Fingers pressing, releasing the neck, allowing the shoulders to melt down away from the ears. It's easy to get scrunched up here. And pedaling the feet out. So giving yourself a nice calf stretch here. This is a challenging posture. So if you're feeling a little heat in the body, that is perfectly fine. Might get a couple of pops in the knees or the hips like I do. Oh, and then exhale, bring it back down into child's pose. Wonderful. Give yourself a little break. Sigh it out a couple of times. Maybe roll the head side to side. If that was challenging for the arms, you can bring the knees in together. Letting the arms trail down by the side of the body. Head can come to one side, or you can rest on the forehead. Allowing the arms to have a nice little break. One more deep breath here. Now bringing bringing it back up to downward facing dog. Fingers spread out wide, giving us a nice supportive base. Tucking the toes, hips travel up and back. Getting a nice stretch in the back of the legs here. Feet can be about hip width distance apart. It might help a little bit to turn the toes in, so explore there. Toes straight forward, toes turned in. Notice how it feels in your body. Now looking up between the hands, taking the right foot, we're going to place it in between the hands. So it might look like one motion for you, like this, or you might need to come down to the knees and come through this way. Either one is fine, find what works for you. When we get there, we're going to meet in a modified Warrior One position. So typically Warrior One, we're gonna have our feet turned out in the back, but that makes it a little bit more challenging to balance. So for today, both feet pointing forward. Right knee is bent, left leg out straight behind, and bring yourself up. You might need to have a little balance help here on the hips. You can grab the wall if you're feeling a little wibbly wobbly. A couple of breaths here. Feeling a nice deep stretch in the front of the left thigh, right here in the hip flexor. Knee doesn't have to be bent very much. Check out our alignment looking down. Knee should be directly over our ankle. So if we're up here, pull it back just a little bit. Should be able to look down and see your big toe. Transitioning here from Warrior One into Warrior Two. The left hand is going to come up. Mine's already up here on the wall, helping to support me. Right arm is going to reach forward towards the right leg and shifting towards the left. Hands out wide. It helps for your balance. You can keep your hands on your waist. You can keep a hand on the wall. Now our left foot is pointing forward, same direction as our face, and our right foot is still pointing towards the end of the mat where it was in Warrior One. Deep breaths here, feeling strong. Notice the shoulders. Are they creeping up towards the ears? If so, roll them down back to back. Taking a peek over at the right knee and the right ankle, making sure that our knee is aligned over our ankle. So sometimes we have a tendency to kind of squeeze in like this. So check it out, pull that knee back. Imagining the spine being one long line going all the way down into the ground. Chest is nice and open. One more inhale here. Exhale, bring it back forward. And we're just going to come down the same way we got into Warrior One. So you can lower your knee down. Bring the right knee back to meet the left. And travel back into Child's Pose. Give yourself a little break. We are almost there. This is the peak portion of our sequence today. This is the most challenging piece. So congratulate yourself. You've made it this far. You are almost done. You're doing a wonderful job. One more inhale. Side out. Coming back in through downward facing dog. Planting the hands, tucking the toes, hips travel up and back. This time our left foot is going to come up, so this might look like one step for you. Maybe we come down to the knees, bringing the foot up. Same position here on the other side. So if you need to use a wall or a couch or something to help you get up, that is perfectly okay.
Straightening the back leg, adjusting your stance. So find a place here where you feel balanced, where you feel like you can stand up. You may walk your way up the wall. Check out the feet. How are you feeling? Can you balance? Maybe step the legs a little bit further apart. Give yourself a wider base to work with. Bringing the hands back to the hips when you're ready. You may feel some trembling here. Lunges are a challenge. This is a modified lunge. Check out the knee and the ankle on the left side. Is your knee over your ankle? If you're forward or backward a little bit, just go ahead and line that up. It'll help you stay balanced. Feeling the shake here. Challenging our bodies, getting a nice deep stretch in the right hip flexor. And then moving into Warrior Two on this side. So same as before, right arm this time is going to circle up and back over. Left hand comes up, or if you'd like to help with balance, you can stay on the hip right here. And we're just turning the right foot so it's facing forward now. Left leg stays stationary. Warrior Two. Gaze can be in front of you. It can be over your left fingertips. Bring your attention to your shoulders. See where they are. You may wiggle the fingers out. Hands can stay on the hips to help with your balance. Engaging the core here, standing up nice and tall, allowing the tailbone to feel like it's reaching down towards the ground, giving yourself balance of tucking the pelvis. One more breath here, and then bring it all the way back forward. This time, taking the right foot, stepping it up to meet the left foot, about hips width distance apart. And a great way to judge what hips width distance apart is to make two fists like this, place them between your feet. Wherever your legs are there, that's about as wide as your hips are. Hanging out here a moment, giving ourselves time to soak in the good work that we just did. Placing the hands on the floor in front of you, slowly heel toe the feet out wider, coming into a yogi squat. So use your hands to balance here. You might also use a wall to balance, and just bring the hips down. And here might be as far as you are flexible to go. That's perfectly fine. So find a good spot here wherever you can sit. If you can make it all the way down to the ground, wonderful. If not, a cushion might be helpful in between the hip and the calf. So just squatting down, nice hip opening. And then we'll just place our hands behind us, stretch the legs out nice and long. Hands climb up towards the ceiling, sitting up nice and tall, one long line with the spine. And then leaning forward, getting a nice stretch through the back of the legs. Your hands might reach your toes, they might not. It's okay to rest them on the legs, on the thighs. So getting a nice deep stretch here, finding our edges. One more deep breath here, in with the belly expand. Slowly walking your way back up to a seated position, and we'll just turn and come back to where we began. So you might explore a little bit here. We got a little bit of energy moving in the hips and the legs, so notice what it feels like now. If you weren't able to sit crisscross applesauce before, are you able to now? Is it a little bit closer? Is it not? That's fine too. So just notice where you are. Close down the eyes. Pay attention to the sensations in the body. How does it feel like now?
What about your hips? We brought our attention to our hips, the beginning of our flow. How are they feeling now? Are we still holding tension? Are we able to let a little bit of that go? How about your heartbeat? Is it elevated a little bit? Is your breathing a little bit faster? How's your energy level? Are you tired? Do you feel more awake, invigorated? Just notice what it's like. We spent a few minutes together, and sometimes the change and how our bodies and our minds feel can be quite profound. So just allow yourself a moment to explore, to enjoy the pause. One more deep breath in. Thank you so much for joining me today for the first day of the 7-day series. I hope to see you again for the rest of it, and I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to send me a message if you've got any requests or questions. I'm happy to engage and discuss with you.